Hey everybody, this is Brandon with RPG Overviews. I'm going to be looking at the Valley Out of Time. Welcome to the Valley zine. It's part of 6 of them, as you can see. This will be a series that I do over the course of however many months it takes me to get through them. As I won't just do them all at one time. We'll do one, and then we'll do some other videos, and we'll come back to it, much like I did with Through Old Town's Door. This is for DCC and MCC RPGs. It's by Skeeter Green Productions. And this was a successful Kickstarter or Kickstarters to do all 6 of these. But it is available in PDF on DriveThruRPG if you want to check it out. Of course, I have a link down in the description. Here's the back of it. Here's some cool dinosaurs. So if you like dinosaurs, if you like stuff like classic Frank Frazetta art, movies or read stuff like The Land That Time Forgot, The Lost World, Journey to the Center of the Earth, 1 Million BC, The Flintstones, I would say like King Kong, You're the Hunter from the Future, which is an absolutely badass movie. Any stop-motion film from Ray Harryhausen, you're going to feel right at home. It can be placed in any ongoing campaign, and it is set in the Neanderthal period of development. There's huge monsters, both dinosaurs and otherwise, and only the hardiest of adventurers will prevail. There's also some devolved humanoids that plague the area. So let's take a look. Dean Spencer, I believe, did the cover here, and he has got a lot of art out there available. If you ever want to put out your own products, you can use some of his art. We've got some other artists here that I see. We got Sarah Frazetta, so that's interesting. And then, let's go ahead and take a look at it. So, you got black and white art. It's 19 pages, and it's not a whole bunch of stuff going on in these 19 pages. But what it does is it's very thorough. So what we've got is you're going to be introduced to this valley. Much like the way it's said in the title, it is out of time. It's a forgotten valley, and in this they call it the Timeless Valley. And it's suitable for entry-level characters and those beginning the explorations into the Timeless Valley. 4 to 6 characters of levels 1 to 2 should find the encounters presented herein challenging but manageable. And a good mix of classes is important. And so what you're going to have is some hooks and motivations here. So maybe the characters succumb to a random teleport gate or portal and ended up on the edge of the valley, just inside the canyon entrance. The easiest way is forward into the ravine. That's probably a good one that I would probably use. You could be exploring a mountainous chain wedged between 2 mighty peaks. A vale, lost and forgotten by time, has managed to prosper. That's an easy one to do. Then you've got a cabal of powerful beings has closed off access to a remote jungle region. Their motivations for doing so range from wanting to see how nature develops outside any human or humanoid interference, ironically, to protecting an ancient artifact beyond the power of mortal beings to control, to imprisoning dangerous creatures, to a refuge or lounging area away from technological advancement. The area is a dimensional planar vortex where time does not flow the same as the surrounding plane. For every day in the valley, years pass in the outside world. That one's very interesting to play with. That's going to be a neat one. And so you've got a summary of everything in this adventure. And so it's not a whole bunch of encounters, but it's definitely a great start to get you going in this valley. This is obviously you're going to see a lot of. It's going to be a lot of jungles, huge plants, a lot of bugs. There's going to be tons of bugs irritating you throughout this valley. And, one thing that's really great about this setting is that we do have those movies if you want to get kind of like in the mood for this, or maybe get a couple of, screenshots, show it to your players, let them see kind of what this stuff is like. It's going to get everybody kind of in that mood. I'm certain there's also some neat music, some kind of jungle-themed music that you could play in the background while you're running this adventure. So the adventurers are going to be struggling through the dense undergrowth of the jungle for hours. They've pretty much been lost, and they are, just absolutely at their wits' end. The bugs and comfort is way far away from them. The bugs pretty much are biting them, draining the PC's blood as quickly as the environment drains their patience and will. And what they're going to come across is going to be fairly easy to understand. It's going to be an opening. There's going to be a break in the dense vegetation. And they're going to see pretty much like a small camp. But in this camp is going to be a group of lumbering humanoids that stirs around a single campsite. And they're going to be not like them. They're going to be substantially larger than the PCs. They're kind of thick, cumbersome limbs, their awkward movements distinguishing them from normal humans. And they have not noticed the party yet. So it's going to see, this is one thing I really like about this. Because it's 19 pages and it's not a whole bunch of things trying to cram all into these 19 pages, it's really able to give you a lot of information. And it's not extremely flowery, anything like that. It just really takes its time and gives you all the information you could possibly need. And that's one of the things I think is very, very good with this. So here's the environment around you, which is going to be nasty, of course. There's humidity, the heat. It's going to make movement difficult. So this is just going to be a really rough area. And then you're going to have camp observations. You know, what you're going to see in this camp. Lean-tos, animal hide tents, leathery teepees, and stuff like that. You know, you're going to see them doing what they do. They're going to be gathering, repairing shelters, fashioning crude tools, stuff like that. And so the players are now going to have to decide how they're going to approach these humanoids. Now, it's going to tell you a little bit here about ultra science. It's the core element of SGP products is ultra science, a technological replacement or mixture of magic. And so that's going to be an interesting thing right there for you to read about. And there's also this jungle funk, which is absolutely terrible. The jungle is filthy, disease-infested place. Any character taking damage in the Timeless Valley needs to make a successful DC 12 fort save to avoid jungle rot. And it's a fungal infestation, and it impedes normal healing process. So you're not going to recover hit points from normal rest. That's really terrible. And if it's not cured within a week, deep body aches and tremors begin, preventing the character from restful sleep. Spellcasters are no longer able to recover spells, and all characters suffer -1 die penalty on all dice rolls. That's really rough. And then, so you've got these, this is one thing I like too. So you've got first contact, docile. What happens should you approach them in a docile way? Maybe a sneaky way or a bold or violent way. Obviously, bold and violent, they're going to attack you back. And that's going to be probably pretty rough. You can do it maybe sneaking in a little bit and see what's going on. And then the docile way, of course, which is probably going to be the best way, is a way for you maybe to be able to communicate with them. Language is obviously going to be a real barrier between the two groups. And you're going to have maybe some good role-playing moments here trying to communicate through gestures and pantomime and stuff like that. Should be a fun thing. It's always a really great way, you know, with players, seeing how they're going to try to communicate with other individuals that do not speak their language. It's going to tell you about the camp layout. So again, it's very thorough, and they're called erminoids. You're going to have stuff like stone spears and giant clubs, stone javelins, things like that. And then, you know, you might be chilling with them. Everything might be going well. You've introduced each other. And you see, these are giants, pretty much. They're about 8 and 9 feet tall. They weigh about 400 pounds. They're muscular and fit. They're slightly hunched over, and their limbs protrude on uncomfortable angles. They lumber when they walk, it says, and their fine motor skills are limited. They seem brutish with overdeveloped musculature and undeveloped finesse. But if you're nice to them, they'll be nice to you. So in the middle of whatever is going on in the camp, all of a sudden there's going to be a noise. And you're going to have a huge giant monitor lizard pretty much break through the foliage and attack. And so here's where this piece of art comes in here. It's going to be a pretty nasty battle. And this is going to be where you're going to be able to show off your characters, how good they do at smashing dinos and giving those dinos dino damage. That's what I call it. You're going to give those dinos that dino damage, and hopefully it'll be slain, and you'll be impressed. The humanoids will be impressed by your skill at killing such dinosaurs. But again, you can see 2 free rounds of action after the giant lizard bursts from the jungle, where it is entangled in the foliage and undergrowth, unable to reach the camp. The characters can flee, attack, or hold and evaluate. Of course, some of the erminoids are going to take up some clubs and spears and stuff like that. So it's going to be kind of like, you know, a judging thing. So here's the enemy of my enemy. Unfortunately for the tribe and potentially the characters, the ruckus caused by the giant lizard trying to extract itself from the jungle attracts other predators close by. Shortly after the monitor arrives, a pack of 8 Dinichus, I think it's called Dinichus, also emerges from their jungle cover. They're kind of like raptors. They are a small, ferocious creature, have a piranha-like pack mentality and react to the smell of blood in the air when they smell open wounds. So you'll have to fight those. And then here's the aftermath here. It talks about whether or not this is an opportunity, since they've been maybe weakened by these dinosaur attacks, that maybe if you want to try to take them on, I don't know why you'd really want to try to do that, unless you're just really playing turd-like characters that are jerks. The day after, they're breaking camp. They're going to be looking for a new camp, a new home. And when they do, there's going to be an opportunity here for this giant python to sneak up on the group and to attack. So we've got another big monster. It's about 40 feet long and weighs a staggering 600 or more pounds. So it has the information you need on how to attack its flank, And it says the giant snake tastes the PC's sweat and fear in the air, so it maneuvers its bolt to strike and this new prey. It takes some time as trees and underbrush are snapped and tossed to one side by the creatures wriggling. And just right there, it just gives you a lot of good information about what's going on in this fight. It does have a dead eye gaze, which is pretty nasty. So it has the part here after the combat, and what's going to happen is one thing that's neat back with the other attacks from the dinosaurs is that they're going to start breaking down those dinosaurs and use all their meat and bones and hides and stuff like that, the Erminoids are. So I think that's neat just to show how they kind of live off these animals. And then you've got this conclusion. It introduced a new regional race, the Erminoids, plus a few of the local threats, a colossal giant monitor, the pack of much smaller Dinichus, and the mighty green serpent. They can be used further in investigations of the Timeless Valley. This is, I believe, is a Sarah Frazetta piece of art right there. And then you've got the stats for the new monsters, once again, with some art, so that's cool. Giant monitor lizard, here's the giant python, the Erminoid stats right there, showing you how they are. That's pretty neat. And then you've got Appendix N monsters for use in the Timeless Valley. So what this is pretty much a way for you to use certain monsters from Dungeon Crawl Classics and Mutant Crawl Classics in the Timeless Valley, giving you some options there, such as ape men, cyclops, giant ants or bats, a lot of giant stuff, obviously, centipedes, lizards, things like that, killer bees, pterodactyls, serpent man, stone giants. So really helpful with those. And then Mutant Crawl Classics, you're going to have stuff like the beast thing, devils, ant-men, grassers, piranha bats, things like that. And then it's going to have some more information about the Timeless Valley. And it says here pretty much how do you keep players invested in exploring the region? You can use such thing as maybe a character seeks a rare herb or plant required for a spell, cure-all, or other formula likely found in the valley. The region's environment is vastly different from the surrounding outside environment and offers new opportunities for export goods, resources to bring to a metropolitan market. So there are some cool ideas here in order to be able to keep people invested in checking out this valley, because they could just be like, this place sucks, we're out of here. So very helpful. And then some of this stuff, the ultra science stuff, might hurt things that your characters normally do, such as clerics. Clerics could feel cut off from their deity. This failure results in the cleric having access to first level and second level spells only, or maybe elves and wizards without access to their spell books are in dire circumstances. They cannot recover spells and risk losing their spellcasting ability if they use the last of their magic. So some interesting options here in order to make this place just a little bit more weird and different. So again, some more dinos right there, and that's the end of it. So I'm looking forward to checking out these other ones. We've got, the next one's going to be Exploring the Valley, so that's going to be a really good one here. Obviously, going to be telling us more about what's going to be happening in this valley, and just probably an overall really good book to get should you like this series. So there we go. Let's put that one aside. There it is. Welcome to the Valley. Again, if you like this type of adventure, let me know, this type of setting. And I think you could probably, taking all these, you could really fit in a lot of different type of movies and stuff like that into this setting and use it for your players to have a lot of fun. So there it is, Valley of Time. Welcome to the Valley. Thanks a lot.